What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Sports Sidebar Podcast. You're tuning in with your boy Rich, and I'm here with my buddies Tom and JD, and we're about to get this thing started. Let's go!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a brand new episode for everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, Rich. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Started looking at the mock drafts now that season's wrapping up. How you doing, man? I know you was a little hurt. I'm now lost, man.
Which loss? The Browns loss?
No,
the
fantasy.
loss. Yeah, it was at one point there. His team was struggling. I had like an Ayuk and a Hurts touchdown, and I was looking good, and then team kind of just fizzled out, and yeah, his Devontae Adams started lighting it up, and just one of those days. It didn't have everything I needed, but left everything on the table, so that's all you can do.
Oh yeah, man. It's going to be. I don't know if you noticed. I was saying so back-to-back years that the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce team won it. So I don't know.
Yeah, and
even though
and
they didn't really do much this year
I was gonna say
compared to last year, but
they didn't do much. I mean, especially in that final, they actually kind of kept it close. If it wasn't for Pacheco, I might have had a chance. But yeah, you're right. I mean, back-to-back years.
let's see who tries to get them next year, and
Yeah.
if they pull them through. But I mean, let's get right into it. We had week 17 ramp up with NFL. We had the Saints. They beat the Buccaneers. I mean, the Buccaneers still in first place of that division, but I don't know if the Saints could get in, even if they win. I think they need a win and a loss.
They need a win, and yeah, they need a win, and I think they need the Falcons to lose. So if the Falcons win and the Saints lose, Falcons win, Saints lose. Yeah, the Falcons win the South, but the Saints are playing. Falcons win, Bucks lose. The Falcons win the South. But if the Saints win, I think they need both the Falcons and the Bucks to lose. Right? I think I got that right.
Yeah, I know it's close. I know it's they said if the Saints win, they got a 50% chance to get in the playoffs.
But the Bucks are playing the Panthers, so they should be able to wrap that up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. Then we had the Ravens. They smack up on the Dolphins. R.I.P. to the Dolphins, man. This is not their year, man. They still got to figure out how to beat the big teams when they need to beat them.
Yeah, I felt like they got off to a pretty good start, and then Lamar and company just kept coming. Yeah, he looks great passing the ball right now. Obviously, everyone will be sitting this week with nothing to play for, but yeah, he Lamar locked up probably the MVP, locked up the number 1 seed, really making some of those owners think about making them pay for not giving them a chance in the offseason. The Colts, the Falcons, who else was it there? There's another team in there, but they basically said that they don't want anything to do with them. Not looking so good.
Oh yeah, he's proven he's definitely worth the money. Hopefully he can get his first win. I mean, it seems like this is their year to win it, if anything. So we had the Rams. They beat up on the Giants. Giants made it close, but thank goodness the Rams held them off. So now the Rams are in the playoff contention, and then Giants, we're trying to hold some other teams win so we can get a better draft pick.
Yeah, and I don't know why the Giants went for 2. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. I when you're at home, I think I go for the tie. Obviously, they went for the win. After they already tied it up, right? And then there was a penalty. They hit the extra point. Then they had the penalty, so they went for 2. And Saquon was wide open, and then Taylor threw it behind him. I don't know why Taylor didn't just run that in. There was no one there to stop him either.
I don't know. I think he's tired of getting hit, man. Every time he runs the ball, gets hit.
I guess I don't blame him.
A lung or something.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, for the Rams, obviously they locked up a playoff spot. Really, kind of an impressive season for the Rams. They kind of got off. They won that first game, and I think that after that they kind of went on a bit of a losing streak, and they kind of came back big. Played strong. I think the emergence of Puka Nakua has helped Cup, and Kyron Williams has been fantastic, and obviously Stafford looks healthy, and they look like a team you don't want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, that'd have been perfect if I was in the playoffs.
Yeah,
'Cause that was one of my running backs, but
yeah,
definitely gonna try to pick him up next year if you don't, depending on how the draft order falls.
hmm
And then we had the Colts versus the Raiders. The Colts beat the Raiders. They keep their playoff hopes alive. They pretty much just need to win out this last game, and they're in, man.
yeah. So they win, they're in.
Yep, they win, they're in. But I think the other thing that's interesting is the Jaguar situation, because I
Yeah.
think if they lose, they might. I don't know if they might drop out completely.
Yeah, I was just looking up the situation. Yeah. So Houston wins. They need a Jacksonville loss. Oh, Houston wins, they're in. Houston win and a Jacksonville loss. Houston wins the AFC South. Indy is in with a win, a straight up win, and they can win the division same way. So basically, whoever wins that Indy Houston game is in the playoffs, and if Jacksonville loses, Jacksonville's out. They can still clinch a playoff berth with a Pittsburgh and Denver loss, and they don't have to win.
That'd be interesting because I don't think the Ravens are really playing their players, and then Denver's just been winning. I mean, despite a bad quarterback, secondary quarterback, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
I like how they set up the games too, whereas like
yeah, they did a good job this year.
you can't really tell like if you're in or not, so people got to play.
Yeah, and I think when is the Pittsburgh game on Saturday? Pittsburgh Baltimore.
Yeah, that one's Saturday.
Because I know there's a lot riding on that, but then obviously the Buffalo Miami game for the division. But if Buffalo loses, they could be out of the playoffs completely, even though they've been on a pretty good run here the last few weeks.
Yeah, that would suck, man. But
I know.
hey, I mean that's what happens, man.
Yeah,
they gonna have to go back to the drawing board. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got Texans Colts is Saturday night. So the Jags will know because Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Saturday night's Texans Colts. So yeah, they'll have it down. They'll know what they need to do, and yeah, should set up for a nice Sunday.
Yeah, a bunch of meaningful games. So
yeah, I always love those those Sunday night games to end the year. Usually for the division. This year it's for the AFC East, which is fun.
Oh yeah. That's what I said. They did. I don't want to say that they did a good job with like setting this up, because as far as like the I don't want to say they rigged the game, so to say, but they definitely played in their favor as far as the competitiveness between some of these divisions, and then them changing they really didn't set the schedule to the end of last week. For the last week of the NFL, so
yeah, I like how they do that now. I mean, it stinks for people that are trying to plan travel or whatever, because you can have potentially that Saturday night game or Saturday game. But I think it's great for for the NFL and the viewership. I really like how they just leave that all wide open in the last week.
Oh yeah, man, they about the bottom dollar, man. Gotta make sure they make that money.
Yep.
And then we got the Steelers, man. They beat the Seahawks. Another season over 500, man.
He does it again. It's the 18th season, I think, in a row. If he wins on Saturday, not only does he get into the playoffs, but he also passes Bill Parcells on the all-time win list. I think he'll be number 12, and he'll be primed to get in the top 10 next year at age 56. So, guy's a heck of a coach. I feel like he almost coaches his best when everyone's counting him out. I think they're this season, but also in the past when everyone's kind of been down on the Steelers, they come back and have a good season or winning season. So kudos to him. I mean, the big questions though, going into next year with they wanted Kenny Pickett to be the guy, but maybe he's not the guy because Mason Rudolph is kind of outplaying him. So some question marks for them for sure going into next year.
Yeah, I wonder if they make a run at one of these other quarterbacks that I'm gonna say people aren't so high on, but they don't think they're gonna go high first round, whether it be like the quarterback from Washington or quarterback
Phoenix.
from LSU or
Jaden Daniels. Yeah, they actually, where they got Jaden Daniels going right now? You'll laugh at this.
to the Jets.
To the Giants.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe not so funny.
I mean,
yeah, they have him going number. I think what do you got, the 4th pick right now, 5th pick.
I haven't seen enough from him. As far, even though he won Heisman, but I don't know. I feel like it was a one and done year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I need to see a lot more before I would pick him. Yeah. I feel more comfortable with Washington's quarterback. He's been in the same system for a while, but I don't know. These quarterbacks this year, they're done. Pretty much all of them I'm on the ropes about.
Yeah, and Phoenix looked good. We can get into it a little bit, but he looked good on Monday. But yeah, the problem with him is he's 24. He's coming out. He's got 2 ACL surgeries under his belt already. I mean, I don't know. Just in the past, shied away from older quarterbacks.
Yeah, because I always feel like they pretty much tapped out on their as far as potential. Like they can't really get any better. Don't get me wrong, he's been a great quarterback in college football, but I don't know. Maybe I guess it's harder for them to retrain certain things when quarterbacks are that old. So, I mean, we're gonna wait and see, man. Mm-hmm. But we do need a receiver, man. We need a receiver bad, man. And then we got week 18 coming up, final week the regular season. As you mentioned, the Saturday games. We got the Steelers versus the Ravens. Ravens are pretty much looking to sit most of their players, and then looks like the Steelers will hopefully take this one, but you never know. Then we got the Texans versus the Colts. Pretty much for the winner gets in. It's gonna be. I like the way that the division is turning out.
Yeah. Teams obviously Ravens are probably sitting everybody, so Pittsburgh can go into Baltimore and get that playoff spot, and then the night game, basically a win and you're in the playoffs. Houston's look with CJ Stroud back has looked back to kind of how they were playing earlier in the season, but he's been tough. I mean, Minshew's having a really good year, and with Taylor healthy, Pittman got a game under his belt post injury. I think it should be a pretty good game.
Oh yeah, and that's what even going forward, man. For them to be in this spot now with their, potential star quarterback going out, and them missing Taylor was out for like 4 weeks, and I mean I feel like they're a few pieces away, but I'm glad they got the quarterback finally.
Yeah.
And then on the Sunday games, we're gonna have the Buccaneers versus the Panthers. Honestly, don't think the Buccaneers are going to lose this game, so they'll probably get in the playoffs.
Wouldn't it be so Baker Mayfield to lose this game and get out and miss the playoffs after kind of like a little bit of a resurgence here in the back half of the year?
Oh yeah, definitely would. It'll be a classic Baker moment. Then your boy gonna be throwing drinks on people again.
Yeah.
I can't believe they only gave him $300,000 fine.
So I was reading about it today, curious why. The problem is they don't have any like set penalties for owners, right? For players they have through the NFLPA they have it all like laid out like fines, suspensions, and what meets what criteria and whatnot. But for owners, it's like you shouldn't ever have to fine an owner. So it's probably why they don't have it set in stone. So they don't really have any precedent of what to do with these guys. But yeah, I mean, like clearly, like, everyone's recording you all the time. So especially when you're like in a verbal argument with somebody, like you just can't do that. Is what it boils down to. But yeah, I thought
Oh
they
yeah.
went light on him. In my mind, I mean, these guys have, especially Tepper has billions of dollars. They could have thrown $1 million fine at him. There were some people that thought he would be suspended from the last game of the year. He wouldn't be able to go, but what's that going to do? So I guess 300,000 it is, and when we move on, and I'm sure he'll have be paying a civil lawsuit as well, or settling a civil lawsuit.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely would have sued. I would have said
Oh hell yeah!
I would have said I'm blind in one eye now. I would have.
Oh,
I'd have showed up in a wheelchair.
Assault. That's assault, brother.
Yeah, I would have. Nice little payday right there.
Throw me $50K and it's all go away.
Oh yeah. Then I would have tried to get like season tickets for the Panthers game too.
I don't know if you want that. I don't know if you want to be put through that pain.
No, I would have sold them off, man. And then we got the Vikings versus the Lions. This game kind of matters because the Lions need to win this to possibly lock up. I think they can lock up the number 1 spot.
They cannot. I don't think. Let me just pull this back up. The Lions. I don't think they can lock up. The San Francisco has already locked up the number 1 seed. So Detroit needs to win, I believe, and Dallas needs to lose for them to get the 2 seed. Otherwise, they'll be the 3 seed, and they'll be playing most likely. I put them at most likely be playing. Gosh, Green Bay or Seattle, something like that. So. Yeah, they need to win to give them a chance to lock up that 2 seed and avoid having to go to.
Yeah, but I think they could beat Dallas either way.
Yeah, I think so.
I think if they would have kicked those field goals instead of trying to go for those, trying to go for the points, so to say, even though they left the points on the board, they would have been in a better position to beat them. So.
Yeah.
Then we got the Jags versus the Titans. I mean, we already talked about this. Jags definitely need to win to stay in because you don't want to lose this game and then leave everything else up to fate.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're kind of hurting on offense, man. Christian Kirk is out, and I don't understand this. Like they don't go to Ridley at all, man.
Yeah, he must be just like covered because. I feel like every time, so the knock on Ridley was that he never really got a lot of separation to begin with. Like he's not really that fast, but he had such good hands that you kind of throw it into coverage, and he was good at picking it out. I think he's just covered, and Lawrence is afraid to throw him the ball.
But that's the thing. I mean, I feel like if he's such a good receiver, so to say, right? You want to find other ways for you to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, fair.
But it just doesn't seem like they don't go to him at all. It's like 0 targets the first half. Then they'll throw to him a few times. Then he'll get 8 targets, like 4 catches. But then it's just like then certain games he'll get 3 catches for like 100 yards, and that'll be it.
Yeah, they definitely need to figure out how to get him the ball more. But yeah, I think having Christian Kirk I think they opened the window for him to return today. So if they can get Kirk back either this or next, I think that'll help. That'll help open him up.
Yeah, I think that too, and the other receiver that's always out, I think is Zay Jones or something like that.
Oh, Zay Jones, yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that game. And then we got the Eagles versus the Giants. Need the Eagles to take care of business, so our draft pick doesn't get any worse. But the Eagles did lose to the Cardinals last week, so I mean anything could happen, man.
Yeah. The that was not a good loss. I would say. I think the faith in the Eagles. I know a lot of Eagles fans. I'm sure you do too. And they pretty much said the season is over, even though they're already in the playoffs. they're like, doesn't matter, season's over, they're not going anywhere. So I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, I mean they need to figure it out. I mean, I know it was Brian Johnson, the OC, basically saying they need to get the ball to AJ Brown more. To be honest, the defenses looked like crap. I mean, Kyler Murray kind of tore them up, and Connor was running all over them. So I don't think it's just an offense problem. They need to figure out their defense too.
Yeah, I think last year they were one of the top teams in sacks on defense. This year, far from it. They did lose some pieces, but I mean, they drafted well. That you figure those pieces would, fill in immediately. But everything it just hasn't all come together yet. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Then we got
It's crazy that only 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, they were 10-1 and looked like no one could stop them, and then they've lost, I think, 4 out of the last 5.
I feel like the same thing happened to them last year. They were like 12, maybe 12-2 or something, and Jalen then Hurts got hurt, and then they end up losing some games, but they picked it up during the playoffs. So
yeah, and maybe they can turn it on. I mean, the problem this time is they're gonna have to go on the road. Probably the first game going to Dallas, so they've already lost there once this year. It's gonna be tougher road.
yeah, you want the easiest path, even though you can have the easiest path. Anything can happen. But you just want to give yourself the best chance to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the Rams versus the 49ers. Rams playing for a playoff spot. Like you said, 49ers already locked in, so it's gonna be interesting to see if 49ers shut it down. So,
well, I think they're both locked in. So both teams are shutting it down. Both backups are playing. Both backup quarterbacks are starting. So yeah, it's that'll be a tune out for that one. I think the Rams. Yeah, the Rams are already in. So, I wouldn't bother with that one. It doesn't matter who wins that game. They're already locked. Both teams are locked into their spot.
and speaking of not watching, the next game I'm probably not watching is the Cowboys versus the Commanders, man. I don't know how much better. I think the Cowboys do need to win if the Lions win, but still, man, I'm not watching this game. And we got the Bills versus the Dolphins, like you mentioned before, for the division title. So probably one of the, two of the 3 teams that we thought would be competing for the top spots of the division. Unfortunately, the Jets, lost their quarterback like 6 seconds of the season, but you guys will bounce back next year. But it's gonna be an interesting one to watch as well, because it seems like the Dolphins can't win the big games that they need to win. So if they don't win, this is just the tall tale of their whole season.
Yeah, I mean, so the Dolphins are in already, so the Bills have a lot more to play for. But like you said, I mean, I think between their only win over a playoff team or over 500 team, I think, is Dallas, right? I think everyone else,
yeah, pretty much.
They've lost to. They've lost the Bills already earlier this season. So yeah, I mean, this is a big game for them, I think, mentally. And to knock the Bills out would be kind of a win for them, right? So, but I think the Bills got a lot to play for.
Oh yeah. So like I said, man, it's gonna be it's a game that matters. So it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I know the Dolphins will be up for knocking the Bills out. So.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think they should know. They'll know by Saturday, by the time they play, what the deal is, if they're in already or not. So that may change things a little bit too. But it's always better to have that first game be a home game in the playoffs and not have to go on the road in week 1.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because you don't depend, especially you got to go depending on which team you got to play. If you got to go West Coast, or you just never know.
Yeah.
Then on to the NBA. I mean, almost at the midseason mark for the NBA. NBA trade deadline is approaching February 8th. As some of you heard, the Knicks traded your boy RJ Barrett and quickly for OG.
How
At
you
first,
feeling
I had
about
to
it,
look at
Rich? How you feeling about it?
At first, I felt like the Knicks got fleeced, right? Then I had to do some research, right? Checked out OG stats, pretty much very similar to RJ's, right? Then I had to look at the salary, right? RJ's getting paid 23 a year, OG's at 3. So, in my head, I thought, they're looking to save some money, either go out and get another player, whether it be via trade or free agency. And I like the fact that either way, I feel like they got out of the RJ contract pretty smooth.
They needed to get out of that contract.
Yeah, he wasn't getting a max deal, but he's getting like what they call like a mid-max type of deal. Getting over 100 million over 4 years. So I am disappointed about Quickly. I did like him, but I felt like that was part of the deal. They had to give him away in the deal in order to dump the salary. Like, hey, we'll take the salary, but we really want this guy. So
yeah,
and it seems like both parties are playing well. RJ and Quickly, they helped their team win a game the other day. I think they played I forget who they played the other day. And then OG had 17 the other night. Helped the Knicks win. So I mean, like I said, the stat wise, I don't think it's pretty much a even match between OG and RJ. So
yeah, and I don't think you're going to save much money, right? Because I think they're going to have to pay him probably what RJ's making in the offseason, maybe a little more. Because I think his contract is up after this. But the Knicks will have his rights, the bird rights, so that helps them. And then like you said, there's probably another move coming, because you can sign or trade for somebody, and then you could still sign OG back after that, right? So, but yeah, he's now their best defender and can guard. That I think that's part of the Knicks' problem is they never had really that guy that could just pick up a Tatum or an SGA or someone like that and just
it was
cover
just
them
too
all
much.
night.
Just too much offense.
Yeah.
No defense. So, but like I said, man, I'm hoping to see another move. Whether it be moving Julius Randle or getting the Spider. But we're gonna have to wait and see, man. But there's a bunch of notable players out there that they were saying that might be moved from exactly pretty much the whole Bulls roster, from what I'm hearing. And then like I mentioned, Spider, Tobias Harris, Pascal Siakam, and then DeJounte Murray and your boy Gordon Hayward, man.
Gordon Hayward.
You guys were so excited when you guys had got him. When you guys first got him in the.
I know, and he just had an interview, or he's on a podcast, I think, and he was saying that that when they went to the Celtics, that second year, the first year they were kind of like everyone was all in, and then obviously he got hurt, and then he's like everyone's priorities kind of like changed, and that's why they failed in that second year. He was trying to go back to his form from when he was in Utah, and Kyrie wasn't really the same, and they were all kind of fairly selfish. So, yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys were hurt. I remember that day, man. You guys were hurt that day, man.
That was tough.
I mean, hopefully he goes somewhere where he can contend or be in playoff contention. Because that kind of seems like the one area we haven't really got to see him in.
One thing in MLB, which is kind of crazy, is that the Yankees still haven't spent $1 in free agency. It's kind of crazy for them. So I wonder what they're brewing up over there in New York. Every other team, except for there's 3 teams that haven't spent $1 yet, and the Yankees are one of them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know they were trying to get your boy Yamamoto, but
yeah,
the damn Dodgers.
Damn Dodgers.
Let's see what kind of moves they can make, but it's gonna be interesting to see though. And then we got college football going on. We had Alabama, they lost to Michigan, and then we had Washington. They beat up on am I drawing a blank? On Texas.
Yeah, I mean, two really good games. The Michigan game obviously went to overtime. Kind of a crazy last play call, but I guess after they kind of explained it out, it was supposed to be an RPO that was supposed to go to the running back, but below snap, Milrow kind of panicked, I guess, but yeah, I mean, good fortitude for Michigan to kind of stay in there and come back, and had a big drive to get to tie up the game there, and then first drive in overtime won it. I did think Alabama, so I guess I have to assume that Michigan's gonna win it all now. But I'm 0 for 2 on my picks. Yeah, I thought Texas was gonna beat Washington. Obviously, Penix played unbelievable. I mean, from the start, just guy was just throwing dimes left and right, and despite the kind of the furious comeback from Texas, Washington was able to hold on.
Yeah, they're saying like this is like his 5th year in that same system. So
yeah, and then that's to go back to the conversation from earlier. It's like, is he good because he just is experienced? He has way more experience than anyone on the field, and just knows that system so well, and he's got a couple of really good receivers, or is he like good enough to be in the NFL good? You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the problem when you look at where is he going to be drafted at. I think someone could take a chance on him, but yeah, is he good because he's like the teenager playing with the elementary school kids, or is he good because he's actually good?
yeah, I think somebody's going to draft him as a backup, and then we might, if his starting quarterback goes down, we'll see him get some play. He'll probably be a solid player. So
yeah.
And then it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. We got another edition of JD's Bites and Brews. What you got for us?
All right, so obviously, everyone hops on the healthy train come January 1, and usually lasts 2 weeks before everything falls apart. But I try to at least throw in a few healthy meals a week here. So we'll be doing those for the foreseeable future. But yeah, so this week did a homemade queso chicken burrito. So the homemade queso you make with cottage cheese, which gives you some protein, a little bit of enchilada sauce, a couple tablespoons of milk, and garlic salt. And you blend that up, and that's kind of your queso. So I was a little, I'm always a little kind of hesitant on some of these, but the flavor was really good. And then took some chicken, seasoned it with garlic powder, salt, pepper, and taco seasoning, and air fried that. So when that was done, I chopped that up, put it into a bowl, put the queso on with some like a half cup of pico, and a cup of low fat mozzarella cheese. Stirred that all together. And then while that was cooking, I also had a cilantro rice going. So just rice with instead of cooking with water, you cook with bone broth, and then chopped up some cilantro and lime. And when the rice was finished, basically stirred that all in. So for the burrito, you just a low carb taco shell or a low carb burrito shell. Put your cilantro lime rice on. Put a scoop of the chicken and queso on. Wrap it up and grill it for about a minute aside, and then you're good to go. So pretty high in protein, still decent amount of carbs, but low fat.
That sounds pretty good though.
Yeah.
I never made queso before though.
No, I mean I've made queso, but normally it's just with a bunch of cheeses and it's not really the healthiest thing. Obviously, cheese it's got high fat content. So when you do it with the cottage cheese, it's got protein for one, and it's low fat. So you're kind of like, I guess replacing one with the other, replacing some fat with some protein, and it honestly still tasted pretty good. not the biggest cottage cheese fan. I used to be when I was a kid. I used to eat a lot of it, but it's a texture thing for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think the only time I can eat it when it's on like when it's like in like no, they don't put I can't really eat that. I'm trying to think what dish they put that in that I can eat it, but
What?
I don't think I don't think it's
Oh
anything.
yeah. Some people eat it with honey, random crap like fruit.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah. I
like
see some people eat it like for like yogurt. It was like what? Ugh.
yeah. That's what I mean. They eat it like yogurt. It's weird.
And then would you guys drink that down with?
All right, so we got a new beer here coming at you from I think it's from the Atlanta, Georgia area. Had a friend go down there and he grabbed a 6 pack. It's called Chance. It's an India IPA India Pale Ale from Wild Leap. They're really local to the southeast. I haven't seen them near me yet, but they are in a few places in the greater Atlanta area. But this is kind of their flagship beer. I guess it's kind of like would be your go-to, your go-to drink, and it's just it kind of has a similar feel to the Northeast style IPAs. It got the gold medal at the 2020 U.S. Open Beer Championship in the hazy or juicy pale ale. So it is on the lighter side of an IPA. It pops in at 6.2%, but it's fairly easy drinking. It went down smooth, and I don't know. Sometimes I like when they're in the 12-ounce can a little better. It's a little I don't know. For me, it's just like maybe I drink it quicker, so the flavor stays better, stays cooler the whole time. But it does have that kind of that hazy feel from the New England IPAs, juicy, fruity. To kind of take away some of that bitterness of the IPA. Uh, I thought it was really good. It's for me, one of those probably spring summer drinks that you could probably have a handful of and not think any the wiser. So I'm gonna give it an 8.1.
Oh snap! Kicking off the new year, right, man? You can't go below that now next week, man.
I know.
But that definitely sounds good, man. Was it more like the aftertaste or that did it for you, or
I think it's just the whole profile. I mean, I'm not so some people, obviously love the New England style where it's, no bitterness and it's basically all juice and fruit on the aftertaste. I can go either way. Sometimes I could have that, but sometimes I do like that bitter hop taste from like a West Coast style IPA. Just because that's, what I started with and I still enjoy that flavor, that Sierra Nevada type flavor. But no, it's more like the just how the whole body feels. It's smooth. It's not malty or boozy. It's not to me. It's not overly juicy. It still has some of that IPA kind of bitterness to it, but not like not fully West Coast style. If you know what I mean.
gotcha? Definitely have to add that to the list, man. And then that's JD's Bites and Brew, everybody. And then this week for the BRRs, I mean, we had some wasn't really much. Checked out the new Netflix movie, the Rebel Moon. That was like Netflix's version of their Star Wars sci-fi. It was horrible, man.
I'm
It
shocked.
was
I thought it was gonna be, the way they jacked it up. I thought it was gonna be good.
yeah, I thought it was too, man. The way they made it seem was like it was a big budget movie. But then, like, I was watching it, it was like all the action is like in slow mo before the slow mo. Like
Hmm.
everything just super slow. It seems forced. I don't know if it was bad acting or bad writing. It just didn't. It was hard to watch, man. And it's like two and a
Yeah.
half hours too. So, and they kind of just like jump around. It's just like, all right, this person was a former soldier of like the Empire. Then now she's gonna go, gather, troops or people that want to rebel against the Empire. And then all of a sudden, like they're jumping around. She's grabbing a bunch of different people from here and there, And it's not like, I think it would have been better if they did like episodes, so you have more character development, stuff like that. And they got to do something with the action in that movie.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because, like you said, they looked like it had a big budget, and it looked, I think from the previews it looked good.
Yeah, but that's so when you watching it and you watching the action scene, just like, I don't know, maybe it's like too choreographed, where it's just like they're moving like slower than slow for like to throw a punch or to throw a kick. So definitely something I don't recommend. And then outside of that, I mean, had the normal shows, Monarch, and Monarch is getting better. They're getting more into what's going on the other side, so to say. Then we got
I just started that.
It's it's a little slow because they're looking for the father, like the majority of episodes, and then when they kind of like get off that and start doing other stuff, it seems a little better. But maybe they'll come back around to like why he was so important. But overall, it's all right. Then the Murder at the End of the World. I don't know if you started watching this, but it's pretty good. I don't want to give anything away. Something you can check out and get a chance. Only like 7 episodes, so it's a good little show.
Nice.
And then outside that, it wasn't really anything else. Just looking for some new stuff and some old stuff. So there's nothing really else I've found yet. So
you gotta start Fool Me Once. I just watched the first episode today. It's pretty good. Pretty good start.
And that's on Netflix, right?
That's on Netflix, yeah.
Oh no, I did start Berlin, which is
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
It's like the prequel to the other one when they robbed the bank. I forget what it's called. But yeah, it's okay. I don't think it's as good as the other show, but it's all right. But I'll definitely add that to the list. And that's pretty much it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time.
Till next time, Rich.
I want to thank y'all for rocking out here on the Sports Sidebar Podcast. Give y'all something to ride out on.